In this video, I'm going to talk about when to consider getting a physical office space and or getting a virtual office space for your home care business. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Scott McKenzie. I am the founder of Golden Age Companions, a non-medical home care agency based in Irvine, California. We've been in business since 2011 and have generated over $8 million of total revenue. And I also founded a company called Home Care Agency Blueprint, which is designed to help you scale, start, and grow your very own home care business. So in regards to getting a virtual office versus a physical office, there's a few things to think about. And I'm also going to speak from experience. I have, for my story in regards to working at Starbucks before starting up my own home care business, I really had no other option other than to get a virtual office address when I started. This was back in 2011, so California did not have licensing requirements yet for getting a physical space and licensed. And that came in 2016. By that time, we had a physical space. But what I would definitely consider is the first thing is looking at what it comes down to in regards to your home care agency. So if your state does require to be licensed, they may require also to have a physical office. Usually if they require to have a license, a home care license, they want to see that there's a physical office in place. Often a PO box is not acceptable. Even like any other business, it's not really, in my opinion, it's not super professional to have a PO box. So you could do a virtual office though if you do not have licensing requirements for your state. You could do a virtual space first, and then that could be under $100 a month, and then you have that actual office address. What I did is I set up the other thing is to, like, when you do your incorporation for your business, and by the way, in my home care agency Blueprint program, we help you incorporate. It comes with our packages. So but as far as the timelines, you've got to have the space picked out of where you're going to have your business, whether it's a virtual or a physical office. And then that's where you incorporate the business. So then all your mail and everything professional is going there. And like what I did with Golden Age Companions is we had a virtual space and then we rented out the conference room. That's kind of like key there. So I ended up bringing in caregivers, and I was interviewing them and utilizing the conference room. And I was even doing group interviews, which is really nice because I'd bring in 3 or 4 or 5 caregivers at a time and then have them all fill out paperwork. And even though we may had not had any like clients right that minute for them, I would share with them. And this is kind of like, my thing about putting the energy out there. I would say, look, we have clients coming up, and we are always getting referrals, which is true. We were consistent getting stuff. And then I remember one instance interviewing a caregiver, and I told her that, and we literally got a brand new case that afternoon. So that's something that you could do on the group interview, getting a virtual office space and utilizing the conference room. That's something to think about. Now, if it is required to have a physical space, it's you can get a small executive office, say 200, 150 square feet, as long as it suffices the licensing requirements, which usually they want to see that there's a desk, a locked file cabinet for your employee files, and a closed door that can lock as well. So that's kind of like the main thing that the licensing laws require really for any state. It's very rare that there's a state that requires a large office. I don't actually know any off the top of my head that want to see like that you have a 600, 700, 800 square foot space. Usually, from my experience working with students in our Blueprint program and helping them get their licenses, we've seen that it's around 200 to 500 square feet that's required. And so yeah, that's something that you want to kind of like consider. I would highly recommend doing a less square footage if you're going to start up. And the other kind of like cheat sheet here is think about also getting into like a small space that you're in a building that is within a company, like a network where they can upgrade your office later. And like the second thing is, see about having that office already pre-furnished, and then in other words, it's kind of like turnkey. And then that's really a good way of like keeping your operating expenses low. And then like obviously like all inclusive. So like internet's included and everything else. Then okay, this is my set monthly fee. It's turnkey. There's a desk, a file cabinet, whatnot in there. And I just bring my computer and I can just kind of like get going. As you get clients and grow, then that's where you can, get into a larger space and even, maybe reward yourself and start buying some like nicer furniture and things like that. So, when starting up your home care agency, it's important to not have a large capital investment. Keep that as low as possible. Know that you're getting these clients coming in, so your cash flow's there, and then you can reward yourself if that's what, like for me, I like all really nice stuff when it comes down to the furniture. So, I eventually upgraded to even a larger space. I went from basically the virtual office only 2 years later to like a small executive office, and then I moved to a 1,100 square foot space that had like a little mini conference area, and then it had like 3 executive offices inside of that. And that was really nice because then we had a spot like a waiting room for the caregivers internally in our office space. But that's as you grow. And the other thing is though to look at is like you're also having to staff that office, so it's costing quite a bit in furniture. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to share this video on, we get this question a lot from our students on when to get an office space, or if they need one, or if they can do a virtual office. And the short answer is, if your licensing requires it, your California licensing, then you do need it. And the last thing I will say though is, I know like Connecticut is one of those states where they do have licensing for home care. However, if you have an agency that doesn't bill Medicaid or Medicare, you do not need to have a license, which means the rules change a little bit. You can essentially have a virtual office. You don't have to have a physical space. So yeah, it's always my recommendation to get the physical office from the get-go and you're set up. If you're really on a budget though and wanting to keep those expenses low, then you could do that virtual route if your state allows that you can do that. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this video, and I would appreciate that if you feel like you're getting value. And then since you have stayed till the end, thank you for doing that. And there is a link in the description below on a bonus guide that helps you decide on when to choose or how to choose getting a virtual versus a physical office space. There's a little like cheat sheet there. And then yeah, there's also a link on my Calendly. So if you would like to book a call with me on getting your consultation to start up your own home care business, my one-on-one booking link is there. We also have weekly live webinars, and you'll see that link in the description as well. As of now, it's on Fridays, but we'll be having more of them. So, all right, look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Thanks so much.